Man, got around. OG Silverback here. And today, I have some tales of victory and glory that through allegory I will demonstrate to you guys how you too can live according to beast mode law and get in touch with your inner animal and live the best version of yourself as you define it and not what TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook perpetuates you to believe. Hey guys, since I've been back here in Vegas from going to California for some martial arts tournaments, martial arts recertification, then I went to this NLP hypnosis pickup artist gurus seminar. I've had some very insightful moments, man, being back here in my man cave, dude. Your home should be your castle, dude. You should have a safe place where you just feel reinvigorated. So I feel recharged. And I want to share something with you guys before I get into the story here. Hey, dude, I got to tell you something, man. When we moved to this country, I originally lived in New York City, and I felt overwhelmed by New York City. Even as a young kid, I knew that something wasn't right there. The pace of the people, the freezing cold, the aggressiveness, the tall buildings, bro. Just the amount of poverty, dude, and just straight bestiality, the savageness of New York residents, bro. If you ever go to New York, man, one thing, if you're not from New York, notice that people are very abrupt, very aggressive. I don't care what anybody says. People kill me with like, no, they're very friendly. They're just loving. Okay, then you ain't really spending a lot of time in the real parts of New York. But the reason I'm bringing that up, dude, is like I was watching this commercial, man, when we lived in the projects, and it was in the wintertime, dude. I think it was about January, February, really cold. And I saw this commercial of these tall blonde ladies playing beach volleyball, and it was a beautiful beach, dude. They had dudes with muscles, dudes on skateboards, riding bikes, just kicking it. And I'm freezing my ass off because, I mean, we had holes in the window. We burned them up. The wind was blowing in like that. It was just no joke. And so I said to my dad, hey, is that true? And he said, son, it never snows in California. And I said, when I grow up, I'm going to California. So unfortunately or fortunately for me, I didn't make it through sports because I got my leg broke playing football in high school. And so then, just in and out of reform school, I decided to join the military. So I joined the military. They sent me out to California. And I got to tell you something, guys. When I got off of the plane and I took the bus, the shuttle from the airport down to the military base, which was the Presidio of San Francisco. Hey, dude, it's like the clouds opened up, dude, and the sun was hitting me, and the birds were chirping, and the bees was buzzing, and I just heard this song. You know what I'm saying? I wish they all could be California girls. And I never even heard the song before. It was just playing in my head. And so, first thing I did once I got situated, I went down and I found out that California is separated into northern, central, and southern. And Southern California is where the mighty Arnold was, and Lou Ferrigno and Tom Platz and all my idols growing up. So I went down there to Venice Beach and I met Arnold, man. And I was such an enthusiastic guy. And then he told me, hey, if you want to be a great bodybuilder, you got to go to Germany. And of course, I had just joined the military, so I had to be in California for 2 years prior to leaving. But I had set my mind and focus on going there. But I really loved California. Went to Germany, came back to California. And the reason I bring that up, guys, is I was just the last 2 weeks, I was in San Francisco and San Jose and Redwood City and Los Angeles and San Diego, you know what I mean? And while I have an affinity for California, I got to tell you guys something. I want to be transparent moving forward. I can't move back. When I'm moving forward, I'm going to let you know every aspect of my life, my mental, so you can peer into the mind of a monster. And dude, Vegas is just a very prolific place because of whatever you're about here in Vegas, you're going to get it amplified exponentially. So let's just say you're into gambling. Either you're going to become a very prolific gambler and win a lot of money, dude, and become a big baller like the ones I see working at the club at night. Or if you're not prolific at it, you're going to be so addicted, you're just going to drive yourself into the ground and be a homeless dude that's resorting to breaking into cars in downtown Vegas that they do. They break into cars and steal shit because they're just trying to survive. They get back home. Vegas is like a transient type of a city. But let's say you're into martial arts and working out, dude. Here's the caveat. If you're really into that, you will rise because you rise to the level of the people that you associate with. I'm very fortunate to be able to associate with UFC fighters, world champion martial arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu dudes, bodyguards, bouncers, street fighters. It's an amazing experience. I'm very happy about that. And the reason I bring that up, guys, is like whatever you perceive and believe you can achieve, you can do it. So if you believe you can't do something, you're right. And if you believe you can do something, you're right. It all comes down to your mentals. And I wanted to share that with you as I get into this video because the title of this video, guys, is this, man. Protecting my butthole in prison taught me how to pick up women. Now, you might think that's a really strange thing to say because you're like, hey, OG Subbag, you say you didn't participate in sex in prison and everything, so how are you going to learn how to slay women and to sleep with women when you're in maximum security prison? But here's the whole thing, guys. And I tell people this all the time, you know, like I meet a lot of people and I'm transparent about my age. Like, see, what's funny about Americans, I'm not going to say all, but a lot. They have this proliferation with youth and the young. And I think being a youth is a thing, a good thing. And that's why I'm here talking to you young guys, man. Because I don't want you to waste your youth doing a lot of shit that the Matrix is telling you is cool and right, but it's leading you down a path. And by the time you hit your 40s, where most guys have a midlife crisis, bro, either you're so fucked off mentally or you're so far down that path, you can't undo it. So I'm trying to be like an OG for you, an OG mentor, a good friend, a guide, dude, through this matrix called life, this psyop called life. And so it's interesting when you're young, dude, you go through a lot of trials and tribulations trying to figure out how to be a man because in the olden days, there was OGs like me or mentors that would take the young dudes out. Maybe they were like 12, 13. Take you out into the forest, teach you how to hunt, build shit, kill shit, cook shit, fight other tribes, bro. And then after a year of that, you come back, you're a man because now you realize you're a protector of the tribe, the progenitor of the women and the children, right? We don't have that now. And then with TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, saying all this false narrative, people just putting on this false facade. A lot of cats on Instagram don't even look like that. They Photoshop shit. They make it up a false life. I know for a fact because I see these dudes coming to Vegas renting Lamborghinis. And you can rent Lamborghinis and Ferraris and floss around full Taurus and all that bullshit. But what does that really say about you? You don't believe yourself enough to go out and get it yourself. So I wanted to tell you guys a story about when I did 10 years in the belly of the beast, maximum security, and how it taught me to really pick up women, be attractive to women when I got out on the street. And I want to share with you what happened, guys. I'm not taking that call right now because I'm busy. So anyway, man, I wanted to tell you, man, like how being locked up in the belly of the beast for 10 years was very valuable. And a lot of people used to come to my channel, you guys that follow me for a while, and I'd be talking about, oh, OG Silverback, you're not saying positive things. You're telling people prison was a positive experience and all that. You're a hypocrite. No, what it is, bro, for me, because I was a loose cannon, I bought into the rap videos when I was on the street. They had this thing called MTV and BET, and this was when rap was in its proliferation, gangster rap, NWA, all this stuff. And you know what I mean? You buy into it, you see these guys with the women and the cars and the money selling drugs. And it messes with your subconscious, even though if you're a righteous dude. So I ended up in prison, man. 26 years, I did 10 maximum security, belly of the beast. And the reason it was very valuable and teaching me how to pick up women on the street is because not what you think. It's not because of the intense isolation I did, because most of my time was in the SHU or was in isolation with no celly because I had very violent behavior, dude. I was just so, when I got my 26 years, I didn't know that you did halftime. I didn't know. I had never been incarcerated in California. I didn't know about halftime, good time. And I was in maximum security when I was in San Quentin reception. My points were so high, I was on the fifth tier. The fifth tier is where they had all the dudes like the murderers and the lifers and dudes with a gang at time. Because 26 years, let's say you go to the pen when you're 20, right? Well, let's say 25 and you got 26 years. You will be 51 when you get out. For a dude that's in his 20s to try to fathom what it's like being 50, it'll blow your fucking mind, dude. And I was 29 years old when I went to the pen. So I didn't have a concept, I was going to do halftime or good time. I didn't even think I was going to make it out because I had shot so many people. So I thought I was going to die in prison. I was like, well, today's a good day to die. And then I'm on the fifth tier. I'm seeing all these dudes on death row being marched down to the chamber and shit. It was just a fucked up experience hearing dudes committing suicide, crying, getting butt fucked, getting murdered. The guards don't give a fuck about nobody. And so I just was very violent, and I couldn't trust anybody. So when people were asking me to join their gangs or affiliations or to ride with this hood or this set, I just felt like it was a double agent, like a frenemy. And it's better to be safe than sorry. So I was just striking out, breaking dudes off. But looking back on it, in my sanctuary, in my new good life, I think I could have handled it differently. But that's why they say hindsight is 20/20. So I'm giving you my hindsight. Being I survived through the belly of the beast, maybe not the right way, but now I'm going to tell you guys how to do things the right way, but not even getting in trouble. Let's say you're a dumb fuck, you're going to get in trouble anyway. I'm trying to help you to correct your behavior. So anyway, man, I did a lot of time by myself because I just would get into it with my cellies and they kept putting me in the shoe and I didn't give a fuck because I was just like, fuck it. But then basically what happened was, when I got to be the understanding that they keep giving me more and more time, and I went to court on appeal, and I realized they dropped me down from 26 years to 11 and a half, and I saw light in the tunnel. I knew about halftime. They dropped me down to level 3 prison. And I said to myself, I can't keep breaking these fools off because I'm never going to get out. So then I had to become a student of human behavior. And that, my friend, is when it really taught me, maximum security prison taught me how to be a student of human behavior, that we're all animals and mammals, and to master that. And that helped me to be able to pick up women. Here's why. When I stopped being in the SHU, segregated housing unit, isolation, I still would only have cellies for a short period of time just because everybody, like you guys say on YouTube, I'm a weird dude. I've been a weird dude for a long time. You too will be a weird dude if you spend a lot of time in the SHU, a lot of time in the cell by yourself. And this was my program, guys. I only came out of my cell for 5 reasons, guys. Number 1 was to go to chow because I had to get my protein in, buddy. I had to get it in because that's what kept me safe in prison, was having muscles and being able to have endurance. Number 2, I only came out of my cell to go to work, school, visits, bro, the few visits I got. Number 3, I only left my cell to go to like NA, AA, religious meetings because I needed to find the Lord because I was in a deep demonic place. You know what I'm trying to say? And the 5th and most important is I left my cell to go to the yard, to get it in, and to run. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, that's what's going on right there. So let me take this for a second really quick, guys. Hello?
Hey, I'm just waking up.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Can we push it back for a minute? Like
yeah. No, whatever's comfortable for you. I just want to hook up, you know what I mean, and just, hang out and just catch up and stuff.
Okay, well, let me hop in the shower and all that. Give me a good half an hour before I can leave.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
You want to shoot for 12 maybe?
That would be perfect.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry about that, guys. I just got to live life in the moment. So anyway, man, I had decided I can't just keep breaking dudes off, and I had to really study them, bro. And this is what happened, man. It was because when I got back into what they call the GP, these other prison channels, general population, and I'm out there with the savages, and this is when I leave my cell for the 5 reasons and shit. Because when you're in the shoe, you ain't leaving your cell, big homie. You're not. That's just how it is. So I got the, and what I like about level 3 and level 4 is when you go to chow, there's not a lot of socialization because when they release you from your tier or your unit or your block, you got to walk across these, you got to walk in within these lines on the floor, and they walk you to chow, and they release you from the building, and you can't be running up to be with your homies, none of that. You can do that shit at level 2 and level 1. That's different Boy Scout fucking day camp, kumbaya bullshit. But level 3 and 4, you will walk according to how you were released. So it's like, cool, I just stay in line, did my thing. You sit where the guards tell you to sit, and you eat your fucking chow, man. You go back to the building, maybe they'll randomly pull you over to check you for weapons or whatever. They lock you back up, do count, and then you get released for a normal program, whatever. You know what I mean? I've told you guys several stories. Normal program for me after Yard Recall never came out into the day room to play dominoes and all that fucking shit. They did Yard Recall, did my shower, went in my cell, locked it up, started stretching, doing martial arts and reading. But it was the times that I was outside of my cell and I had to go to chow and I had to sit at the table with guys and stuff, and I had to go to weight power with guys, and I had to go to work with guys or school with guys or religious services with guys or NA or AA. You see all these weird dudes. It was because of because of the weird, strange, and aggressive behavior of the child molesters, rapists, murderers, cannibals, kidnappers, and jackers. I really got to understand the full spectrum of human behavior and human development, whether it's restricted development or advanced criminal development. I became a student of that. And for those of you that want to come on here and you talking about, I hear guys telling me all the time, like, oh, use that Mule Creek and that's a PC pen and all this stuff. Man, let me tell you something, man. I show that you guys are ignorant, even if you've been to prison, and you want to be honest, because I was talking to a guy yesterday about prison stuff, and I'm gonna make a video about what we talked about. But here's the whole thing. All prisons have PC, which stands for protective custody. There are some prisons that have a more larger population. I'm not going to argue that, but all prisons have protective custody, dude, because there's some dudes that have questionable characteristics or things that's on their jacket, and they happen to get housed at that prison, so they piece him up to protect them. Or some guys PC themselves. They want to get out of a gang, whatever, they PC up. You put a hit on somebody, you PC up. Whatever the case is, there's PCs at all prison, man. So you guys having this reputation that there's total pens with PCs, you guys are fucking ignorant, man. I'm not going to even address your behavior, but I want to tell you that I've been to 5 different prisons, and every prison I was at, even New Folsom, maximum security, they had child molesters, rapists, cannibals, and kidnappers, bro, and pedophiles, bro. So all this stuff you hear these other prison channels talking about, dude, you can believe that fictionalized shit if you want, man. I'm telling you, reality is them cats be out there, man. Everybody talking about they take them off the main line. Okay, dude, you guys want to believe a fairy tale. God bless you, but I'm not going to address that in this video. But what I wanted to say to you is being around those type of guys, listening to their conversation, I couldn't allow myself to get emotional and lash out because I have children myself. I have a wife. I have sisters. I have female cousins. I have a mom. I couldn't get emotional and lash out at these monsters, so I had to internalize it and figure out a process. So this is how it helped me. It taught me a lot about human behavior, as I had to study the animals in order to make parole and get released. Because if every time I got emotional like a female and I jumped off at every dude that I felt was a sick motherfucker, then I would never make parole. I'd never make the parole board. Every year you go to the parole board, just get denied. I didn't want to get denied anymore. So what I did was I really had to understand the system, and this is what's important in this video, guys, as a lone wolf. I had a more horrifying and terrifying experience in the belly of the beast. As I did not get the kumbaya love from the homies. I was not a protected class, and this is what a lot of you guys don't understand. Maybe you guys that are new to my channel. Dude, I'm an other for real, like meaning that I'm mixed. So I couldn't ride with the brothers even though I look like a brother. I can't ride with the Hispanics even though I'm part Hispanic. I couldn't ride with the Indians, even though I'm part Indian. And I didn't want to be part of the others because that's just a gang for, no offense to any of you guys. I just felt like, people join gangs for protection. I didn't need some group to protect me, dude. I just did my own thing. So therefore, because I'm by myself, because I was a lone wolf, a loner and quiet and stayed to myself, I had every sick and fucking, um, perverted fucking nasty fuck trying to get at me and go up in my butthole. Because people talk in prison, they go, "Oh man, who's that dude? Oh man, he's just some loner dude. He's just quiet. He stayed to himself. He don't hardly come out of the cell, right?" So they interpreted my isolation as weakness, and my friend, it was not. I was just trying to understand how to get out of there, and so I learned to have verbal acumen. And so what happens is this, guys. So I learned what behavior does not work on a hot and desirable female, because as a lone wolf target, all the pedophiles and perverts and rapists and just fucking cannibals and just weird perverted dudes thought I was the easy target because I didn't have a group to protect me. So they coming at me all kind of different ways, dude. Sometimes it was subtle, sometimes it was overt, sometimes it was covert, sometimes it was aggressive, sometimes it was passive. But as I said earlier, I had to learn to control my emotions, dude, and just to analyze the situation and do what was appropriate for that situation, regardless of their response. Now, if their response was to get violent, I would have no choice but to meet tyranny with tyranny, because that's all they understand. Violent people only understand violence. But 9 times out of 10, I could talk my way out of a situation, you know what I mean? And so that helped me to become more social and verbalizing my thoughts, and more importantly, analyzing this creature, this person, to say the right words to persuade this individual to cease and desist their behavior. And I'm going to give you an example of the kind of skill that I learned was this. You got to say to yourself, man, if you're with, let's say you're a well-to-do guy, you got money, man, but you got money that you earned from hard work. You weren't just didn't win the lottery or somebody just gave it to you. And it's like you, man, and a group of your homies, and y'all ballers, man. I'm talking about ballers from hard work, investments like nobody gave it to, no overnight windfall. And then this funky, stinky homeless dude comes up to you, and he's really stinky, and what's that perk? He's like petrifying. I don't know the right word, but he stinks bad as putrid. That's the word. And this dude wants to sit down and break bread with you at your table, bro. You got one of these outside restaurants like they got in San Diego, man. San Diego has a proliferation of outside restaurants. It's really interesting. The weather's so nice. And so what would it take for a homeless guy to join your group when he's funky and stinky and he hasn't had a bath in 60 days and he's stinky and funky? He got no shoes on. He's got poop in his pants and he's really funky and stinky. What would he have to say to you in order for you to allow him to sit down and break bread and you don't want to smell him or even look at him? And that's what I learned in prison, man. It was this, man. When you are interacting with other people, dude, you have to be so comfortable in your own skin that it doesn't matter what their reaction is to you. And that, my friend, is what makes you attractive to not just the opposite sex, but to other people. And a lot of you young guys are so caught up in trying to be attractive to the opposite sex and trying to get some punani and all this stuff, dude. You're missing the whole point of your youth. Your youth is you're on an adventure to find out the best version of yourself as you define it. And maybe that might sound like hieroglyphic or whatever, but here's what it comes down to in plain English. In this life, you have to sit down and figure out what it is that you want. In whatever situation or position you're in, if you're in a bad position, you're in a not so perfect position or whatever, you have to figure out how to get out of that position and align yourself with people that can help you to proliferate and grow. How's that got to do with picking up women? When you are solely focused on yourself and your mission, my friend, that is very attractive to women, because women don't want a guy who's chasing after fat ass or big titties, man, or long legs and none of that bullshit. They want a guy who's so focused on himself and his mission that they are drawn to his tenacity because they want to be taken on a ride. Women don't want to be the ride. They want to be taken on a ride. And that's what 10 years in prison taught me. I was so focused on bettering myself through physical exercise, running, burpees, jumping, physical fitness, fighting, lifting weights, reading books, self discovery through Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, finding the Lord. I've studied every different religion. I've even taken a theology course because that was the only courses the prisons I were in would let me come in. I wrote to different colleges, asked them for college courses, the stuff for business and all that. The prisons kicked them back. Be theology? Oh, my man, here, you can have some theology. Matter of fact, you have some porn. They put porn in the same category as theology. So anyway, man, just through that and a lot of soul searching and focusing on yourself, you have to become selfish, my friend. You have to worry about yourself. And then here's the key, here's the caveat. If the people that you're currently associated with, dude, aren't on board with you becoming a better version of yourself, then I would say kick the dust off of your sandals and flee from those people, my friend. So I know I covered a lot of different things, man, because I got a lot to talk about. I'm trying to really get you guys ready for my Patreon next month because I did 3 days with this fake ass, phony ass guru on the internet that everybody looks up to. Is like the godfather of PUA, which is pickup artistry. And I just found out that he's the godfather of ripping your ass off, And I'm not going to say his name. That's why you got to join my Patreon next month, starting October 1st. Sign up for a $5 Patreon. I got the secret videos that I recorded on my phone. For 3 days I did it, and I made a mistake. I got 4 sections for 3 days, so it's 12 sections. I'm going to let him talk, and then on my next video after that, I'm going to do a reaction to what he's saying and to point out point by point why he's full of shit and why in this life you need to focus on yourself first and foremost, dude, even if you're horny. You focus on yourself, dude. Your mission is to educate yourself to get the money. Because, dude, this is what I tell you. People always want to say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. You're a fucking liar, bro. That's the person that's never made a lot. I've been poor and I've been rich and in between. And let me tell you something. Money solves 99% of your problems. You might have 99 problems, but getting a female is not one of them. So if you learned anything from this video today, from coming to my channel, dude, if you like this type of stuff, man, keep following me because I'm going to be lacing you with real life information of how to be the best version of yourself to A, get yourself healthy, B, educate yourself with useful education on how to get paid exponentially, and C, how to invest and keep your money, dude, so that you can travel the world, do the things you want to do. And let me tell you, when you get to that point, having females in your life will not be a problem. Matter of fact, the only problem you're going to have is how to weed through all the different numbers coming your way so you can go ahead and focus on your life and get back to what's important to you. And so until the next time, always be true to yourself. OG Silverback out.